Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Kevin, and today is the 18th of November 2020. And this is your morning meditation with a bit of a message, a focus for those who are beginning your meditation practice and perhaps wanting to understand a bit more about meditation. Just real briefly, I started my meditation practice probably regularly about 10 years ago, and in the last decade it has been hit or miss, especially the first 5 or 6 years. Some days I did it, some days I didn't do it. And about the last year and a half, 2 years, it has been a lot more regular, meaning I carve out time in my day to do it. Trying to describe the shift that has happened, I was talking to a lovely client yesterday about what occurs when you meditate, or at least the journey of meditation. There's a softening that happens, there's an ease and a flow that happens, there is an inner trust that happens, and all of the egoic energy that I experienced before, those very sharp, jagged, um, such feelings like anxiety and feelings of worry and the constant I feel like it equates to this hum, when you um go somewhere and there's an engine running and it's just this low hum. Eventually your body starts to vibrate to that hum, and it's sort of an underlying current of something you can't really get out of your system. Meditation, for me, has found another place for that energy to go and replaced it with something that is so much more easeful. Um, for most of my adult life, well, childhood too, I suffered, lived with, dealt with weight issues, up and down, in and out, health issues. What I can say is that they are well under control, and I no longer have those desires or those needs or those wants or those passions to go do that radical, um, polarizing behavior. So I will say this: meditation isn't easy, but then anything worth doing does take a bit of time, and that's why they call it practice. There isn't a right or wrong way to meditate. Um, it's just a simple act of getting quiet and being peaceful with yourself. Um, why did I say all that? I watched a small segment of a news report this morning that bothered me. It bothered me because it was about a young boy. I don't know the name of the young boy, and I'm sorry if I just don't know his name, but his parents were being interviewed shortly after the lockdown. This 13-year-old, I think he was about to turn 13 or did turn 13, um, had a bit of a meltdown. He was in quarantine like most young people, adults, everybody locked up, told to stay in their houses. And something happened. Something broke. He was very upset. He went down looking for some help or relief or somebody to hear what he was trying to say or do. And his father comforted him and, let him know it was going to be okay, and whatever it was that had broken would be fine. Um, and I don't think it was very much longer, a minute or two, and his father went to check on him to make sure everything was okay, and the boy had um, committed suicide. That's devastating for a parent. It's devastating to know there are people out there that are incredibly bothered and quite affected by this new situation of social distancing. And I'm with that young man's parents in saying that we're not conditioned to being antisocial. And here we are, literally a week and a day away from celebrating one of the loveliest holidays I think American culture has, and that is the Thanksgiving of coming together. And of course, it was originally um, spawned when pilgrims came and made a life for themselves in this country, and they chose to celebrate all of the harvesting and all the hard work and everything they'd done to create this new world. And here we are again celebrating it, the beginning, if you will, of the holiday, although I like to think Halloween is the beginning of my holiday season. And day upon day upon day upon day upon day, we are loaded down with this news, if you will, if you pay attention to it, that we're supposed to shut ourselves off and shut ourselves down and not do anything. There's something really interesting about being asked to do that. It goes against what our true soul spiritual being wants to do. We really do want to be social. By the same token, I'm also hearing from clients and people I converse with that alternatively, they're noticing that folks are being a lot more neighborly. They're being a little more friendly. When people would go shut themselves in their cars and rush off to work or rush off to the store, there is now a little bit of softening that's happening on the faces of people. And I'm wondering, at least I'm hopeful, that perhaps this time that we've been asked to isolate, or in other words, inwardly reflect, because when you're with yourself, you're by yourself, you've got no other stimulation but yourself, to find a softer, more compassionate way of moving forward. I always believe that there's always darkest right before the dawn. It's always bright and sunny after a bad storm, that something really good and powerful happens as a result of something devastating. I don't know that I'm up for experiencing too much devastation. It's tough to deal with, but then so's growth. All that to say, it works in a circle around the meditation and why it's important to do your own sifting. There's power in all of us. None of us were put on the planet to do mediocre things. We did not get born and birthed just to be here and do the dance of silliness. Really, there's a purpose. Now, when you wake up to that purpose, what that purpose is for you gets revealed when you turn off the static, that underneath hum, that need to do things, need to go places, need to have, need to buy, need to borrow, need to get. When that becomes less important and you become more of the being you were created to be, the person you were meant to be, you'll find, oh, all of this behavior that you, and I speak for myself, all of that behavior had, the purpose of it was to show me that I didn't need it. I did it, but then I realized, well, I don't really need all that. I need to settle down and come to terms with what's happening next. We are going to meditate, I promise. The two cards that I pulled this morning, which was brilliant for what I was looking for, as I've shared with many of you, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I never know what's coming. I don't rehearse anything. And for a while I felt like, well, I'm just going on the seat of my backside, which is, what is this point? What's the point of having a conversation with people if I don't really know what I'm going to talk about? Then I realized you will know when you're supposed to know at the time you're meant to know, just do it. I was reminded by a good friend that anything that gets rehearsed and gets thought about ahead of time never turns out right. It doesn't. You can have notes in front of you. You could be ready for the biggest lecture of your life. Yeah, no, it didn't work the right way. Somebody somewhere says something that sends the whole energy off. But that's what's meant to happen. We're not to we're meant to live our life with a purpose, but we're not meant to live our life on purpose. That's a bit weird to think about, but have a purpose, but don't make it the only thing you think of doing. Let the meander of the experience happen. With that said, here's our card for the day. And it was a jumper, popped out of the deck. The Spiral Dancer. So the Spiral Dancer does talk about things being in a circular motion. The notes on this card is circuitous route and perception. So when we have these patterns that show up, they go in a cycle, that come back around, the natural order of things is to say, not again, I've got to do this again. Oh my gosh, this is coming up again. Really, again? And I speak of this latest news round of another shutdown, right? Okay. Yeah, you can choose what you want to choose with it. Medically, we do have to be careful because there is something out there that potentially is killing people. We're not sure what, because we can't see it, we can't smell it, we can't taste it, but those are the things that this virus goes after, those senses. It's just so interesting. What I've been sharing with people is, rather than reacting to all of that BuzzFeed, how about looking at it in a new way? This is the most interesting time, seriously, to be in this country, on the planet, with so many humongous changes taking place. And you can look at it like an exciting time to be alive, which I do. Nothing I could possibly have imagined happened this year at all. Decisions I'm making are having to be pretty quick. There's no time to think about it, rehearse it, or put a little bunch of notes together to present it. It's a question of chipping away at the things that no longer matter, that no longer require attention, and moving into things that really do require attention. So it's a bit like when you're faced with a situation that you're not sure what to do about, the second card pops up, which is take a step back. Now, this is from the Angel Guide Oracle from Kyle Gray. Meditation every day at a certain time of day is a discipline. It is a discipline for you to get to the actual truth of you. And the challenge we have in the Western culture is that we're pre-wired to complicate everything, to have complicated conversations, to have complicated emotions, instead of accepting what is right here, right now, and being okay. It's really challenging to move forward with anything without acceptance of where it has got you, landed you. So the Spiral Dancer isn't, oh gosh, we're doing this again. That's a perception. What it is the movement is the cycle shows you the journey you've been on, and then you move up and you cycle around again. And then you move up and you cycle around again. So anytime you find yourself having a similar cycle, and I'll use my own gift, if I will, for doing hair. I'm now doing haircuts and hairstyles I learned to do when I was a teenager, 40 something years ago. And the knowledge of those haircuts, those 70s shags, the wash and wear, shake and go, shaggy sort of lovely haircut that can be turned into something beautiful and feathery. The knowledge of doing them and working the hair and finding the shape of them never went anywhere. In 40 something years of doing this, it's right there. Only this time, I've grown. I've got some experience and some knowledge, and find it just as interesting as I did as learning it for the first time. So if you find yourself in a cycle where you're looking at it and you've said, oh, we're doing this again, instead of we're doing this again, look at it like, what is interesting about it this time? What is interesting about this? And when you find folks who are struggling, and many people are struggling, they don't have these gifts of sitting and doing a meditation every day, you'll notice it. When you meditate and you go inward and you find that peace and you find that gravity, you find that light, you find that love, you find that inner chi, you begin to notice those that don't have it. It's part of your indication that it's time to share your light, time to share your love, time to share your compassion, even with those who are not able to show it, not able to experience it or share it with other people. We always feel like, well, why would I be nice to that person? They weren't very nice to me. Maybe they weren't very nice to you because they're looking for a way to try to find what nice is. I say nice. The word I really mean is kind. I think nice is an oxymoron. Being nice, wanting to be nice is ridiculous. It's an ego trip. Being kind is not. That's like a religious practice. Okay, I think I'll get off my soapbox now because I'm getting an indication from a spirit guide that you need to shut up and meditate. So, okay. Thank you for bringing me these messages today, universe, and let me speak for a bit. Now it's your turn. We're going to meditate. So I'll take my glasses off and I want you to sit with your eyes closed and put your feet flat on the floor. Integrate yourself with your physical space, the room that you're in, the seat that you've taken, and your posture. I like to encourage folks to create a tall spine. Why? Because energy runs in and out of the body and it wants room to vibrate and move. It also allows the breath to flow freely into your lungs, and from your lungs to your heart, from your heart to your all your extremities. So grounding and integrating. Simple. Every time you meditate. Gives you a start off focus. Very quickly allows you to shut out the distracting noise of environment where you are. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, release surface tension, worry, all the emotions that don't serve you, don't serve your highest good, let them go. The deepening of the inhales and the subsequent exhale is literally a physical connection to the central nervous system. There's a softening and a relaxation that occurs when you watch people breathe deeply. The action of filling up with breath and exhaling the same breath serves to do two things. To relax the mind and the physical body, or to energize the mind and the physical body. Energy does not necessarily have to be associated with adrenaline. It takes just as much effort and energy to float on the surface of the water as it does to swim in the water. Create stillness in your body and take your conscious mind to your feet, create an inner scan of your left side, start moving to your left knee and thigh. Continue rising up from your thigh to your left hip. Work along your side ribs on your left side and into your left shoulder socket. Take your mind and your consciousness down your left arm. Pay attention to the elbow joint and the wrist joint. Bring attention and energy to your left hand and all 5 of the fingers on your left hand. Move up the left side of your neck, your left ear and eye, left eyebrow, and the left side of your forehead. Take a scan of your entire left side. What's the quality of your left side? How does the surface of your skin feel on your left side? Just keep on breathing energy into your lungs and becoming aware of your left side. With your thoughts and energy on your left side, take your mind and your consciousness, what you're paying attention to, your right foot. See and feel with your mind and your internal eye the top of your right foot, all 5 of your right toes. Energize and enliven your right ankle through your right knee. Take your mind around your right shin bone and your right calf muscle. And just be with the experience of you thinking and focusing energy towards your right leg, from your right hip down into your right heel. Let your mind travel up from your right hip to the right side of your belly, up into the right side of your ribs, into your right armpit. As you draw energy in through your nose in a breath, bring the energy up along to your right shoulder and down your right arm. Keep the energy and the feeling. Internal observations of your right hand, right wrist, right fingers, right fingernails. Inhale and pull your consciousness up through the right side of your face, starting with the right side of your neck into your jaw. Your right cheek and ear, eyes, eyebrow. Move up to the very top, the right side of your head. What is the quality and the feeling, the experience your right side body is having right now? And take your attention and your mind and your consciousness to the very center of your body where the right side and the left side come together. With your mind focused on the organ known as your brain, has two separate sides with a unique division right down the middle. Use your brain, your breath, and your consciousness to energize the very center of your whole body. Let yourself relax, let yourself breathe, let yourself be with the experience of this consciousness, awareness, energy and focus on the tuning of your body. Any thoughts, underlying statements that don't serve the purpose of bringing you clear insight, a feeling of bliss, acknowledge those thoughts, let them go. You are fine. Everything's okay. And from this very moment forward, all good things are possible. So be it, and so shall it be. Gently move your attention back to where you are physically. Bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Lift your thumb knuckles to your third eye center. Let's honor one another and the whole planet as we bow and say namaste. Then you can open your eyes, bring yourself back into the room. Thank you for that. I appreciate you being on this meditation. I do want to offer this to a lot more people. I have a Zoom 30-minute meditation that I offer on Saturday mornings at 8:30. And with this being the weekend of Thanksgiving, I'm interested in opening that meditation up to a lot more people who perhaps haven't ever meditated and want to do more of it. There are many that get this replay in YouTube, and every day it's a different meditation focus, but I think I want to start the cycle on Saturday with just that one we've just done, and perhaps turn the recording into a YouTube replay for people that miss it. But I'd like to try and start a universal, if I will, meditation group of anyone. It's free, and they just tune into a link that I could share on my Facebook social media. But I need you guys out there to get the word out and pick it up. All right, have a great Wednesday. I am going to do some homework. I have the last of my light year leadership calls today, and I will be working on a plan moving forward, at least what my life looks like in 15 years. That I find quite bizarre. Anyway, have a great Wednesday. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy. Bye.